Do you agree that before helping others, one must help oneself first? When we help others, are we not helping ourselves too? Meanwhile, can a person live alone, or is being alone only an idea? In this video, we will be discussing these very questions by studying the idea of intersubjectivity. Intersubjectivity explores how individuals relate to each other as subjects. Philosophers define the subject as a being who recognizes the other, which refers to other people, like one's neighbor, friend, or family member, or even other entities not necessarily human. Intersubjectivity, in essence, goes beyond merely acknowledging other beings, but instead, it involves recognizing and understanding others, be they fellow humans or animals, plants, or the environment. It's also crucial to consider oneself as the subject in these interactions. Essentially, intersubjectivity involves examining the dynamics between oneself and others, understanding the relationship between who we are and everyone and everything else.
To expand on the subject of intersubjectivity, we delve into the life and teachings of three philosophers, namely Paul Ricoeur, Martin Buber, and Emmanuel Levinas. In the discussion of Paul Ricoeur, let me begin by sharing a quote. He stated that man is this plural and collective unity in which the unity of destination and the differences of destinies are to be understood through each other. In this statement, Paul Ricoeur describes man as a plural and collective unity. He highlights a shared destiny that binds individuals together while acknowledging the diversity of their destinies. Ricoeur's insight challenges a simplistic view of humanity, emphasizing that the richness of our collective existence emerges from the interplay of the diverse destinies that collectively shape the human journey. So Paul Ricoeur was a renowned French philosopher born on February 27, 1913 in Valence, France. Influenced by existentialism and phenomenology, his early career was interrupted by World War II, during which he was a prisoner of war. After the war, he resumed his academic pursuits and became known for his work in phenomenology and hermeneutics. Ricoeur held significant academic positions, including teaching at the University of Chicago. His extensive body of work covers existentialism, phenomenology, hermeneutics, and ethics. Notable works include Freedom and Nature and The Symbolism of Evil. Ricoeur passed away on May 20, 2005, leaving a lasting legacy in philosophy and intellectual inquiry. Paul Ricoeur's philosophy centers on the pivotal role of text in comprehending both the world and oneself. Unlike the traditional perspective that sees the world concealed behind the text, Ricoeur posits that the world becomes evident in front of the text. This outlook views the text not just as a means of communication, but as a dynamic space where meaning is actively constructed, revealing the world. From a hermeneutic perspective, Ricoeur suggests that engaging with texts fosters personal development, extending beyond individual growth to encompass moral responsibility toward others. Readers, as they comprehend the text and themselves, are encouraged to be responsible individuals for both personal well-being and the collective welfare of others. Ricoeur thus intertwines philosophical exploration with an ethical dimension, emphasizing the interconnectedness of self-understanding and the responsible engagement with the world. Paul Ricoeur's exploration of the other in his book Oneself as Another reveals a nuanced perspective, highlighting the intricate connection between self and other. Ricoeur argues that understanding the self requires acknowledging the presence of the other, emphasizing a reciprocal, mutually constitutive relationship. The self, according to him, gains its identity from the existence of the other, portraying a relational rather than oppositional dynamic in human existence. Published in 1990, Oneself as Another is a significant contribution to Ricoeur's philosophical inquiries into self, ethics, and hermeneutics. The book delves into the complexities of identity, stressing the integral role of the other in understanding oneself. Ricoeur employs a hermeneutical approach, to explore a self-identity through narrative, considering the ethical implications of these personal stories. Ricker's work grapples with moral responsibility and the ethical dimensions of selfhood, addressing the questions of justice and the impact of storytelling on our moral understanding. Throughout oneself as another, the intertwining of self and other remains a central theme, showcasing Ricker's commitment to bridging existential concerns with ethical reflections. In essence, oneself as another stands as a pivotal work in Ricker's body of literature, offering profound insights into self-nature, relational identity, and ethical considerations in our interactions. It reflects Ricker's interdisciplinary approach, blending philosophy, literature, and hermeneutics to explore fundamental aspects of human existence.
The concept that something cannot be called a self without the other accentuates the relationship between the perspective of identity and existence. This notion undermines the interdependence of the existence of self and the other, opposing the singularity of solitary. In a similar manner, the self displays identities to which is being influenced by our distinct interactions with the society around us. The self portrays a dynamic role in developing an identity, somehow comparison of self and the other coexist without compromising each other, where neither one is superior nor inferior. The famous dictum of René Descartes, cogito ergo sum, or I think, therefore I am, bring forth the idea that a man can assert key knowledge and certainty through skepticism or methodic doubt. His philosophy sheds a little more light that a man can doubt everything except the self, and recognizes the fact that even in the act of doubting, there must be a thinking subject. Descartes identifies the essence of the self with thinking. The ability to doubt, question, and engage in intellectual activities becomes the defining characteristic of the self. The thinking being, as a self, is distinct from the body and the external world. Also, he is known for his dualism, which involves a clear separation between mind, or the thinking substance, and body, or the extended substance. While the body is subjected to doubt and deception, the thinking self, as a non-material substance, is immune to such uncertainties. One of the seminal works of Descartes, Meditations, focuses on understanding oneself through a first view towards the journey of self-reflection. It exerts Socrates' way of philosophizing, where readers allocate their thoughts in consciously understanding the mechanism of things. The focal point of Descartes' book is that it recognizes the essence of the self through providing a way out of understanding of oneself. The maxim, if one knows the self well, understands the self, then the act of reaching out to others is not a far-fetched reality. It relays that an individual possessing a stable sense of self can foster for a greater good, which is to have a genuine and open-minded connection with others and establishing a foundation of self-awareness. Hence, it suggests that the self is present because the other presupposes a being that recognizes not only oneself but also the self of other human persons. This recognition involves acknowledging the unique identity and consciousness of others. The realization that understanding oneself is essential for meaningful interactions with others goes beyond a solipsistic point of view, which is an extreme form of individualism where one perceives only their own mind and existence as certain. The idea that one has to learn to take care of oneself to effectively care for others recognizes the importance of self-care and the foundational aspect. It does not advocate neglecting oneself but emphasizes the necessity of a well-balanced and self-aware individual. Selfishness may be seen as a temporary phase, possibly rooted in a limited awareness of the impact of one's actions on others. As one becomes more attuned to the interdependence of the self and others, there's a potential for a transition towards selflessness. Understanding the self involves developing empathy and a deeper awareness of one's own emotions, needs, and vulnerabilities. This understanding can extend to recognizing similar aspects in others, fostering a sense of shared humanity. Empathy is a key component of selfishness. It involves the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. As individuals become more empathetic, they are more likely to act in ways that consider the well-being of others. The realization that taking care of oneself is interconnected with taking care of others establishes a reciprocal relationship. It is not a one-way street where self-care and caring for others are mutually exclusive. Instead, they complement each other in a dynamic and interdependent way. A shift from a solipsistic viewpoint to an understanding of the self in relation to others contributes to the formation of stronger social bonds in the community. In a community oriented perspective, the well being of the individual is intertwined with the well being of the collective.
The content and relation of these two worlds is the theme of I and thou. The other person, the thou, is shown to be a reality, that is, it is given to me, but it is not bounded by me. This passage refers to Martin Buber's I and thou, exploring the theme of the relationship between the two worlds, the I and the thou. Buber suggests that the thou represents another person, a reality given to the self but not limited or confined by the self. It is explore the dynamic, non-possessive nature of genuine human connections. Martin Buber was born on February 8, 1878 and died on June 13, 1965. He is a prolific writer, author, scholar, and political activist. His works were mostly written in German and Hebrew, like the Jewish mysticism to social philosophy, biblical studies, and phenomenology. Martin Buber's notable work, I and Thou, in the year 1923, stands out among his many contributions, particularly in exploring intersubjectivity. Buber distinguishes between the I and it and the I and thou relationships. The former involves the self's connection with entities like plants, animals, or objects, while the latter involves a human-to-human connection, emphasizing mutual concerns, openness, and ethical engagement. In the I-thou relationship, both participants fully turn towards each other with a commitment to dialogue and total presentness. Buber underscores the importance of valuing the other for their inherent worth, not just for utility.
His influential work, the philosophical masterpiece The I and Thou Relationship, was published in 1923. It delves into the essence of relationships, human existence, and the art of meaningful dialogue. The I and Thou Relationship is about seeing others as complete human beings, acknowledging their emotions, thoughts, and individuality. It's when we engage with someone on a deeper level, recognizing their humanity, treating them with genuine respect, understanding, and empathy. In this mode, we're focused on the connection between the two unique individuals, rather than just seeing them as objects or means to the end. While the I and it relationship is when we see others as objects or things, not really recognizing their full humanity. It's like looking at someone and thinking about what they can do for us and how they fit into our plans, rather than truly seeing and respecting them as a unique person with their own thoughts and feelings. It's a bit like treating someone as a means to an end, or rather than valuing them for who they are. Buber stressed how I and thou relationship helps build their real bonds between two people. It helps us grow personally and bring spiritual fulfillment. He thought that fully talking and connecting with others in this way was crucial for a meaningful life and understanding our role in this world. It is important to know that this kind of relationship is characterized by dialogue or by total presentness. Total presentness refers to a state of complete and undivided attention to the present moment during an authentic dialogue between individuals. For Buber, honoring the other not because of its usefulness is of paramount priority and importance. Buber emphasizes the importance of connections between individuals, stating that personal existence is deeply tied to communal life. Genuine dialogue enhances this connection, leading to a profound awareness of the present moment. Additionally, the I and thou relationship is thought to reveal positivity in tough situations. For example, a woman washing her dishes or her family's dishes is considered to be a strong and independent, and an optimistic mother sees her family overcoming life's challenges. The philosophy of dialogue focuses on wholeness, decision making, being present, and individual uniqueness. It revolves around the authenticity of one's existence. According to Buber, becoming a person involves engaging in a relationship with a thou. To fully embody humanity, understanding how to relate the self to its existence is crucial. If the self solely explores its own existence, it might fall short of becoming fully human. However, engaging with others in an I and thou relationship leads to the realization of true humanity. The pursuit of genuine humanity is achieved through the I and thou relationship.
Emmanuel Levinas, a Lithuanian-born French philosopher, challenged the dominance of ontology in Western philosophy by emphasizing the importance of ethics as the foundation of philosophy. He believed that recognizing the moral imperative in the presence of another person is a starting point for understanding the world. Levinas argued that our intentionality towards the world is directed towards others, and in encountering them we do not have superiority over them. Ethics demands a broad and profound sense of responsibility towards others. Levinas' concept of intersubjectivity emphasizes the importance of equality and inclusiveness for all individuals. This means that in situations where some individuals may be at disadvantage, such as in a classroom or public spaces, being responsible for others requires providing accommodations to ensure they are not excluded. For example, in a classroom setting where most chairs are designed for right-handed people, providing chairs specifically designed for left-handed students demonstrates its responsibility for the other. Similarly, in public spaces like malls and parking lots, providing ramps for wheelchair users is an example of being responsible for the others. Levinas argues that being responsible for the other is not just about speaking words, but also about translating those words into concrete actions that promote equality and inclusiveness for all individuals. This perspective challenges and the traditional philosophical focus on the idealistic transcendental ego and instead emphasizes the responsibility that being awakens. Levinas suggests that our understanding of being should be shaped by our recognition of our responsibility towards others, rather than simply seeking to understand its essence.
Levinas argues that going beyond oneself and recognizing the vulnerability in others is crucial. This involves opening one's heart and mind to see the face of the other and prioritizing responsibility towards them. When encountering a homeless person, the primary concern should be how to help them, rather than judging whether they need assistance or not. Levinas emphasizes that being responsible for others requires sincerity and taking care of them, regardless of their past wrongdoings. This concept of the other goes beyond just referring to another person and encompasses those who are weak and vulnerable in our environment. The otherness of the other challenges us to recognize our responsibility towards them, highlighting the interconnectedness between individuals and their surroundings. Levinas' perspective underscores the importance of prioritizing responsibility towards others over one's own individual development.
In summary, the philosophies of Ricoeur, Buber, and Levinas emphasize the importance of self-development as a foundation for engaging with others. Ricoeur underscores the need to cultivate oneself before reaching out to others, viewing self-care as a prerequisite for caring for others. Buber distinguishes between I and it and I and thou, highlighting the significance of genuine relationships with others for human fulfillment. Conversely, Levinas advocates for transcending self-preservation, emphasizing the responsibility to recognize vulnerability in the face of the other. Collectively, these philosophies guide individuals to step out of their comfort zones, preparing them for meaningful engagement in society.